How's it going, everyone? My name's Scott Johannick. I'm a realtor here in the Madison area, and I wanted to have a quick chat around waiting for the crash. This has come up a couple times in some meetings I had this week, and I want to make sure that you guys are having the right conversations with your realtors, or more specifically, I guess, your realtors are having the right conversations with you. So during a couple of these conversations, prospective clients call me up and say, hey, Scott, we're looking to start buying a home in the Madison area, and we're interviewing different realtors, want to give you a call. And I said, all right, thanks for the opportunity. Go through the questions of where you looking, price points, a cash buyer, using a loan, do you have to sell a home, things like that, right? And I said, we have a couple of neighborhoods in mind. We even have some properties that we've been keeping an eye on. We are using a loan, but we have 20% saved. I said, okay, awesome. I pulled up the properties that they gave me, and they were about $375,000, which is about an average price home here in the Madison area. I said, okay, great neighborhood, great area, love the spot, very familiar with it. I said, what's your overall goal with this property? He said, well, we're renting right now. We have one kid who's 1 year old. We're hoping to have another kid in the next couple of years. Love the school districts in the area. We hope to be in this home well through them being through high school into college. I said, so we're looking at 25 years minimum. So the long-term cost of owning this home, is that correct? I said, yes. I said, all right, awesome. So I said, is there any other gaps I can fill before you guys are comfortable looking at properties and making offers? He said, no, I think we're pretty good, but we're just waiting for the crash to happen. I said, oh, what do you mean by that? They're like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you said you're waiting for the crash to happen. What does that mean to you? And I said, well, like when all the home prices come down, they've been crazy for so long. Like this neighborhood, they used to be listed at $400,000. Some were going $50,000 over asking. I said, no, I understand definition-wise what the crash means to you. I said, but what numerically does the crash mean to you, right? You said they used to be at 400, now they're at 375. I said, what number does these list price have to get to be the crash for you? And I said, well, I guess we never really thought about it that way. I said, okay. I said, well, let's just kind of take a broader scope in this, right? Everybody uses the word crash on the news, recession, right? We hear all that. So it's like most people try to compare it to 2009. So in 2009, like the average crash or correction was like 5% throughout most of the market. So it's like a $400,000 home at 5% is $20,000 off. So it's like that's 380. So this 375 home is like sort of already corrected. And I said like the big crashes in the areas that were, overpriced to begin with, like they crashed like 20%. Like that was a really, really bad crash. So I said $400,000 home at a 20% crash, that's a $320,000 home. So I said, have you analyzed the long-term cost since you plan on being here of these homes in these areas? And he said, well, what do you mean? I guess we really haven't. I said, this $400,000 home, 6 months ago, it was listed at $400,000, like interest rates were 3%. The cost of that loan through the 30-year term is $485,000. So I said, right now, this $375,000 loan, I said interest rates there about 5.5%. That's going to cost you $613,000 for the length of that loan. So it's already costing you $100,000 more, even though the list price is less. So I said, in this worst case crash scenario that you guys are hoping for or waiting for, when do you expect that to happen? Like 6 months, 12 months. I said, okay, where do you expect interest rates to be? They said, probably be about 7%. I said, okay, $320,000 house, 20% down payment, 7%. I said, that's $613,000 as well. So I said, let's make sure we note something here. So right now at 375, 5.5%, that's 613. 320 at 7%, that's also 613. So even if this big crash happens and interest rates are where you expect them to be, you've gained nothing. So let's just be very transparent about that. And I said, you mentioned before these homes going $50,000 over asking, you thought these people were crazy. And he said, let's just look at a $450,000 home, 20% down at 3%. That's a $550,000 cost long term. So I said, those people that you thought were and said were crazy, it's like in your best case scenario, they have already saved $50,000 than what you can right now. So I just want to make sure that, you guys, as you're having these conversations with your realtors, like you are having this conversation about the potential financial implications around waiting for the crash, because there's a principal and interest plays a huge role in it. And especially if you're planning on holding the property for a long time, like that plays a really big role into it. Run these numbers for the long-term cost of ownership. Obviously, it's going to be different if you plan on holding it a shorter term. Then you really have to look at net proceeds, right? That's what your realtor should really be helping you with, is running and analyzing these calculations, and really understanding, like, does it hit my financial goals and needs and monthly payments, but on a long-term scale as well. And if your realtors are not having these conversations with you, I highly consider that you should really start thinking about working with someone else, because they might just not have your best interest in mind.